I'm still in the process of completely rethinking social media, but the more that I contemplate what I should be doing with social media, the more I come to the conclusion that there is nothing of value here. I wouldn't watch this. I wouldn't consume content where somebody was just living their life, because I want to live my own life. And it's weird, the culture. I think because it's easier to watch somebody else live their life than it is to face our own stuff. But after a certain point, when you face enough of your own stuff, you just naturally want to participate in your own life. And then maybe you're like, this is what happened, I guess. Like, I wanted to participate in my own life, and then I wanted to share this newfound desire to engage with life, and I wanted to be like broadcast like this, like I want to live, I want to do all this stuff, I want to face my challenges, like I'm excited to share this process with you. And then I've continued on that journey, and I've reached a point where I'm thinking, I am the distraction now. I am the show to watch instead of people dealing with their own stuff. But I do get the comments and the messages from people saying that this kind of content actually is the catalyst for inner work, where they're contemplating their own stuff more deeply. I guess it depends on the user, like the audience member who comes to the content and what their intention is. But I really need to get more clear on my own intention, like what is the purpose of this? And for me in the present moment, I kind of just want to show people that I'm a regular person, because I am a regular person. But I really like the idea of just having a documentation of somebody just actually living their life without glamorizing any particular aspects or omitting any particular aspects. And you really are, this is what it is like to be a person. And like, if I got really, like, my goal with it would be that if somebody watched this catalog of videos in 200 years, they would actually have a pretty accurate representation of what it was like to be a dude living in the kind of circumstances that I'm living in, and moving through the world and moving through their own issues and challenges of the day. It's been a big exercise in like honesty and eliminating a lot of self-deception and deception in general, to be real, to be authentic and all of that. And I see externally, when I'm looking around, I see a lot of people saying authenticity is where it's at, like this is how you attract your tribe and sell your products. But it's like a fake authenticity, or they do the thing that I was saying I don't want to do, where they glamorize particular aspects and they omit other aspects. Because to be completely authentic and look and attract people at the same time, you have to actually have put in a lot of the work. You can't just hide all your stuff and highlight the things that you want people to see and then put on a facade of authenticity. It doesn't work as well. Like, I really want to just reach a point where there's nothing, like I've actually done the work and I've evolved and become who I want to be, and all I have to do is show up, and it's relaxing. It's kind of relaxing now. But so I'm in this place where like this is authentic, but it's almost like the challenges and the issues and the things I was going through were the reason to watch. Like a lot of people really resonate with my struggles, and that, the challenges are never going to end. They're just going to be new challenges. But I wonder. Aircraft flying overhead. This is where we are. Beautiful Nobby's Beach. It's the middle of the day, so I'm just kind of hiding out beneath these rocks. I guess another wild thing is that there is no script or plan. Until the moment that I actually press record, I have no idea what I'm going to share. And that maybe feels lazy. I've always had an issue with that, where I felt like I'm being lazy and I'm not putting in the effort. And I always felt like people can kind of see that too and not respect that, because I'm just kind of recording whatever, like just recording a bunch of nothing and then expecting that to be valuable. So I've always felt lazy the entire time that I've been doing the video journals. And when I first started doing them, it was just practice. But then I couldn't help but think of it as something, like, as people are watching, so it became something. Maybe that's not how you want to start a project, like just, but at the same time, that is totally how you want to start a project, because then you're going to be who you really are from the beginning, because you didn't intend to show up in front of everybody with an audience to put on a show. People just kind of came and like, what are you doing? And it's really weird. I think the disconnect that I have is that I don't particularly consume content. It's like a very one-way street. Like, I'm not out here watching what all of you are doing. And that feels out of balance to me. Why watch what one particular person is thinking and feeling in the present moment? But then I don't know, like maybe in the future it'll all make sense. I've also kind of had that idea for ages. But I've deleted so much content that you can't see the journey anyway. But I always knew that like the longer that it went on for, the more depth there would be, because you could actually see the changes and the evolution. If you could see how lost I was like 6 years ago, it would be far more interesting to see where I am now. But I didn't want to reproduce all of that pain and confusion and delusion. I wanted to remove that. So I've kind of omitted things in that sense, and so I'm omitting the past and I'm highlighting the present. And I've stopped doing it, but I also don't know. Sometimes I feel like I know what I'm doing, like I know what the journal is, and then other times I'm sitting here and I'm just speaking whatever's coming to my mind, but it feels like it's not what this is supposed to be. Like there's like something inside me that knows what it's supposed to be. And sometimes I just feel like I'm really in that flow and I'm delivering a message that means something. And then other times I'm really not sure. And one thing I've decided is I'm not going to publish as frequently so that I can give myself more space, but then I'm omitting things again. Maybe I'm just trying to find that balancing point where, you know, the level of transparency where I'm sharing the truth of the matter. I'm sharing the facts, and I'm sharing the steps that I'm going through or the challenges that I'm facing. But it doesn't have to be so transparent that I'm completely naked in front of the world, although there's been plenty of times in the past where that's been the case and it's been impactful for people. I just got to let go of the idea that there's ever going to be any consistency with my identity in a video journal, because I'm evolving all the time. I might think I know what this is all about this week, but next week I'm going to be a different person and it's going to be a different world. And I'm going to have new experiences, new evidence about reality. So why even try to figure out how to put this in a box? The whole point is not to put myself in a box. Break all the boxes, be free, question everything, even your own identity, even your own creations. What is my creation? Why did I do this? How much have I changed since I originally set out to create this thing? What was my original intention? What is my intention now? How are those things at odds with one another? What could I be doing that's more productive than rambling about my inner world and broadcasting that to strangers? I know one thing that's more valuable than that for sure is sharing time with physical people in physical reality. That's what I've been doing a lot more. Video and social media has gone down a lot in my priorities, and sharing genuine live experiences with people has become my main focus and the main time consumer in my calendar. Community, connection. Priorities. What are my priorities? My priorities seem clear, but even my priorities shift and change so dramatically. I guess it would be different, and it was different in the past when I was more programmed into the 9 to 5 lifestyle, and I had one of those jobs that people have where you go to work Monday to Friday and that's that, and you have your house where you live and that's where you be if you're not at work. I don't have any of that anymore. There's none of that structure. There's so much freedom now that I'm working whenever and I'm being wherever. I'm all over the place. So can I build structure and routine into this lifestyle? Do I even want to? Is it just getting lazier and lazier, what I'm doing with the video journals? I just honestly sometimes feel like there's nothing left to say. But then give me a week or two and something powerful will emerge within me and I'll get really passionate about it and really confident. and all of a sudden speak as if I have all of the answers to all of the problems in the world, or at least I've found the right questions to ask to begin to uncover those answers. How about I actually share something real and less abstract? I was filling my calendar up to the max, like just every single day, down to the hour, I had different things going on. And recently I released that a little bit, and I'm no longer like, if I see a gap in my calendar, I've got to fill it. I'm actually leaving those gaps now, making myself more available, which I believe I said ages ago, like months ago in a video journal, like I need to create more space so that I'm available for randomness, for like spontaneity. But I just never got around to doing that, or I just kept my foot on that accelerator and wanted to do everything. So in that, I've reduced how often I actually record video journals as well. I was trying to record video journals every single day, and I was trying to do gym like 6 days a week at the minimum, and I was trying to make sure I had clients every single day, sometimes like 2 or 3 in one day, and I was trying to fit in like social stuff as well that was like not business related or financially related, and all of it was like overlapping and feeding into each other, and I thought I was a genius because I was getting so much done. And then I don't know, I just had a week away from it and did a bunch of holographic kinetics and came back, and I was just like, what do I actually have to show for stressing myself out with all of this like non-stop ridiculousness? I could totally relax and I would probably still get the same results, if not better results, because I was emotionally eating. I emotionally eat whenever I am overworked and stressed, because in my mind I'm like, I need more energy. Like, it's that simple. I'm like, consume more calories, because it will give your brain more energy to process the volume of information that you're dealing with and the volume of emotions that you're processing. So like, I don't like eat particularly badly, I just eat lots. And since I've like settled down a little bit in the last, and it like I talk as if I've figured something out and I've been doing it for like 3 to 6 months. It's been like a week since I've slowed down, and I'm talking as if like I've made a total lifestyle change. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm changing so dramatically so often that I don't know how to show up in these videos. I feel like there will be no consistency, although I know that there is some kind of consistency if you just watch them all in their actual order. Like, there'll probably be a bit of a storyline, but I feel disconnected from that consistency because I'm making these changes. But yeah, I was emotionally eating and trying to fit too much in. And since I just gave myself more time to rest, now what happens is I actually just sleep in it sometimes, and I feel really relaxed and I don't feel the need to eat heaps of extra food. But this is, like I said, it's only a very new thing, and most people would say like it takes 21 days or 60 days to develop a new habit or whatever. I don't think I even have time to solidify most of my habits because I'm just trying on things so often. I definitely do have my habits that I have locked in though, but maybe there's like 90% that's like all free and changing and in flux, and there's like 10% that I've locked in. And even in that 10%, as I'm playing with all the different things that I'm changing around, if I find something better, I'll lock that into the more permanent way of being. it would be nice to just like figure it out, hey, like your life and who you are as a person and what you're doing, and have like a routine, and like that's that, like. And I guess like it's funny because that's what I hated, that's what I wanted to avoid, and that's what I ran away from. But it's not like I ran away from, like I had routine and structure, but it was somebody else's routine and structure. That's the issue that we have, like why we hate being stuck, or why I hated being stuck in like a job that I hated, living in a place that didn't feel awesome enough, and like having just like feeling dead inside. I want to create like a routine and a structure that suits me, and like that's what would be nice, to be at a place where I can have like a 9 to 5-ish thing, like a bit of a routine, and clients come and I make my money and I do my things, but I get to do it in all the ways that I would love to do it. And you know, if you're somebody who's trying to figure out how to live the life that you want to live, people are probably going to constantly tell you that you're entitled and you're expecting too much, all kinds of things, and they're going to try to talk you out of it. And maybe it's good if they do talk you out of it, because then you won't go through all the pain and suffering of, like, who says you're going to succeed, you know? I believe that success comes to anybody who doesn't give up, though. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. That's my advice. What else did I want to say about that? Recently I discovered that, or I observed that people also, there's the kinds of people that will try to talk you out of trying to create your dream life and live the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. But there's a more subtle and insidious kind of person. Or it's not a kind of person. Everybody does both of these things. So the two things are talk you out of it and tell you like you don't deserve it, or like it's ridiculous for you to think that you could have the lifestyle that you actually want. But the other thing that people do is they'll get on board with you as if they're like, yeah, that would be really cool, but they overdo it. And this is a huge problem, and this is what the whole journal should probably be about. So maybe you want to become an athlete or a musician, an artist, whatever it is that you want to work on. Let's go with musician. And then people will talk to you and get excited with you about it, and they'll be talking about playing a show in a sold out arena, or like having an album that goes platinum, or like maybe lower levels of this, but people go straight to like, you know, because nobody's actually gone on the journey and gone through all the things that they need to go through to find out how hard it is to create the lifestyle that you want to live. So they've got all these ridiculous assumptions about like the progression. So instead of like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to practice guitar for 4 hours a day for years, it's straight to like, yeah, let's like think about where you could play and like get gigs and record an album and do all these things. Like people just want to leapfrog all the hard bits and get straight to the exciting things. And I think that's probably more detrimental than somebody just telling you simply flat out that it's not possible and unachievable. I'd rather have somebody tell me it's unachievable so I can go, fuck you, and then go and achieve it, than have somebody get excited about my dream and then like create this vision that is impossible. That's like, and then I'm like doubting myself, like, can I really do this? Like, all I need to do today is practice my chords on guitar, like for the musician thing. But now my friend's got me in my head about like how anxiety inducing it's going to be to play to 10,000 people. Like we don't need to go there yet in our awareness. That's a distraction. We need to be here in the present moment and do the thing that's in front of us. And on that note, like, it can be hard to stay motivated when you're doing those smaller steps towards the goal that you actually have. And I've found like I've really got to know why I'm doing it every single time. if I kind of just force myself to do the thing that leads me to the destination, or leads me to the lifestyle that I want, or leads me to the outcome that I want, I dread it more and more. And I did a journal about this a while ago, and I was talking about like me versus resistance, and then I kind of cracked it and I never talked about it again. That's another thing that I do in the journals. Like I'll record a really long video journal where I'm talking about asking all these questions and not coming up with any answers, and then after the journal I go away and contemplate it, and I'm like, figured it all out, this is awesome, and then I'll never talk about it in a journal, which is probably the reason why the journals are good, because I'm not giving answers, I'm just primarily asking the questions and inviting that contemplation. More aircraft. I need to keep in mind why I'm doing what I'm doing. If I just force myself to do a bunch of things I don't want to do, it doesn't work. And I need to anticipate a reward in the future, because if there's no reward in the present moment, my whole being is just like, why are we doing this? I don't want to say that it's like tricking yourself. It's just like staying focused, because it's really easy to just like start hating what you're doing and finding it really difficult to keep going, and then that resistance gets involved and it's really easy to make excuses and give up and quit. So you need to actively continue to keep the picture of the outcome that you want alive inside of you. Otherwise, your motivation disappears, doesn't it? But in saying that, I do believe in discipline, self-discipline. Even if I don't want to do it, I'll do it. If we get too in our heads about like needing to be motivated and inspired, then we just end up watching a bunch of ridiculous 1 hour long motivation mixes on YouTube or something and don't do anything. If you add up all the hours that you spend trying to psych yourself up to do things, like you'd probably be better off just not trying to do the things if you need all that time to psych yourself up. Like I would rather just like chill. And then in that chilling, quite often what happens is you're relaxed and you're not like wasting all this mental energy trying to imagine what you need to do to create a better life for yourself, and then you just naturally start doing positive things. Yeah. I'm so certain that like 90% of the stuff that I say that has impact is not when I'm trying to have impact. It's probably just the little throwaway comments and things and realizations that I have live. If you get anything out of these video journals, please pass them on to anybody else you know who may benefit. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave your comments down below. Love to hear what you're thinking and feeling in the present moment too.